Hi there, my name's Sarah, aka Josie, aka JD, and welcome to Trickle Down Therapy. Today I'm going to be covering a topic of physical health, but one that also affects your mental health. Energy-dense versus nutrient-dense food and what falls in between. A lot of people fall into one of two camps. Either high calories, sugar, and fat are terrible for you and should be avoided at all costs, or those same things give you more energy and therefore are better for you than, say, low-calorie vegetables. I know it's not in human nature to have a healthy in-between mindset. We're very all-or-nothing creatures. But it is very possible to consume a lot of calories with a lot of nutrients all in the same food. In fact, that's probably preferable to all other options. If you're starving because you refuse to eat carbs, or if you're overstuffed, heavy, and groggy from eating nothing but carbs, you're going to feel terrible, and it will affect not only your physical being, but your mental performance and happiness. As someone majoring in psychology with a minor in nutrition, this sort of interaction is right up my alley. First, definitions. Energy-dense, otherwise known as nutrient-poor, foods are high in things like sugar and saturated fat, while being very poor in protein, unsaturated fat, vitamins, and minerals. These foods are what people often refer to as empty calories, though I believe that title gets misused a lot of the time. Examples include cookies, chocolate, gummy bears, stuff of that nature. In a pinch, these foods are good for a burst of energy if you need to make it through a work shift or something. However, most energy-dense foods have what is called a high glycemic index. This means that eating this food will make your blood sugar spike really fast and then drop really fast. So once the energy is used up, you crash and you're left not much better. Sugar rushes are an example of an extreme effect of a high glycemic index. Nutrient-dense foods are just what they sound like, foods that give you a lot of various benefits and are often lower in calories. These have dietary fiber, unsaturated fatty acids, which can be found in vegetables, vitamins, minerals, proteins, and especially high-density lipoproteins, which can be found in foods like beans, fatty fish, and olive oil. Side note, if you've never heard the term high-density lipoproteins, or HDLs, that's the really good kind of fat that helps clear cholesterol out of your arteries. Yeah, surprise! There's good kinds of fat. The point of eating nutrient-dense foods rather than energy-dense foods isn't to cut out all carbs and fats. They should be limited because your body can only use so much carbs and fats and the rest are stored. But the point is that you need other nutrients just as much as you need the calories. If you fill up on cookies, you're severely depriving yourself of room in your stomach to eat more beneficial and necessary foods. The key is to add more to your diet, not to take away. Cutting out sugars altogether should not be the goal of a healthy diet. It's far more beneficial to just add in some leafy greens, some carrots, some beans, and nuts. And it is entirely possible to eat foods that are high in energy and nutritious at the same time. For example, I love celery, but a lot of people don't. A lot don't. Celery is high in vitamin A and dietary fiber. The idea that eating celery burns more calories than it gives you and that that's all there is to it is a joke that got taken too seriously and is repeated as fact. Celery is great for you. So if you can't stand the taste of it, but you don't mind it so much if it's smothered in ranch, hell, smother it in ranch. You don't need to cut out all of the fat in salad dressing, and it's a myth that the dressing undoes all of the healthiness in the salad, or in this case, raw veggies. If ranch makes it so that you can eat celery, carrots, broccoli, and tomatoes, that's worth it. Don't listen to anyone who says your diet has to be pure and completely healthy. That's actually characteristic of an eating disorder called orthorexia, and I'm going to cover that in another video. If you're using celery as a conduit for salad dressing, your body isn't going to know that. You're still going to get all the benefits of celery. Other foods have both the calories and the nutrients all in one. Really good examples include peanut butter and breakfast cereals. If you've ever looked at the nutrition label of a jar of peanut butter, you may have thought, wow, that's a lot of fat and sugar. It's true, nuts have a lot of calories in them, meaning they give you a lot of long-lasting energy. If you ever did that experiment in grade school science lab, you'll know that if you set a walnut on fire, it burns way longer than a marshmallow. That's because more calories make a food take longer to burn. However, it's not that simple. Peanut butter is a food with a low glycemic index, meaning it doesn't make your blood sugar spike and then drop. It releases into your bloodstream slowly and steadily, making it much, much better for you than any chocolate with a comparative sugar content. In fact, peanut butter is a kind of sugar that is actually good for people with diabetes because of this. In addition to the low glycemic index of peanut butter, you may also notice that it boasts not only a decent amount of protein, but also some calcium, potassium, vitamin E, magnesium, and for some brands, even a high amount of niacin, which is vitamin B3. Now that is what you want. The calories are fine as long as they're balanced out with necessary nutrients, making peanut butter an overall healthy snack. In fact, if you want to put a little honey on that peanut butter, that is a great and filling snack. My second example is breakfast cereal, which in countries such as the US is normally fortified. It's not just cornflakes either. Most sugary children's cereal is fortified with necessary vitamins. It would still be better to eat cornflakes, but going back to my celery example, if the sugar in Frosted Flakes coaxes nutrients into your kid or even into you, that's not so bad. Yeah, even Frosted Flakes. Other fortified cereals include but are not limited to Cocoa Puffs, Frosted Mini Wheats, and my favorite fortified cereal, Rice Krispies. Even one serving of Rice Krispies has a decent amount of iron, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pantothenic acid, folate, and cobalamin. If you know anything about nutrition, biology, or chemistry, you may recognize that most of what I just listed are B vitamins. If you're not familiar, B vitamins are the main components of things such as energy drinks, but without all the sugar, caffeine, and taurine. B vitamins give you the energy to function properly, and a deficiency in any of them can not only cause difficulty in your day-to-day functioning, but birth defects if you're deficient while pregnant. Rice Krispies specifically have more folate in them than other B vitamins, which is fantastic because a deficiency in folate, or B9, can cause spinal bifida in your baby. It is also possible to have a resistance to absorbing B vitamins such as folate and cobalamin due to genetics or medication, and there's no UL or toxicity level for these two, so getting as much of it as you can is often very beneficial. So yes, it is possible to eat high-calorie, high-nutrient foods. I'm not saying you should obsessively check nutrition labels on everything you eat, but if you do, and you see a lot of saturated fat and carbohydrates, that isn't where you should stop looking. Some products don't even list all the vitamins and minerals and unsaturated fatty acids on the container. So if you're curious as to the entirety of what that food can do for you, most brands have complete nutrition facts online, and you can look up non-brand items such as fresh fruits and veggies as well. Just type in, for example, celery nutrition facts if you want to know all the good things you're putting in your body, and pay attention to the serving size. Honestly, once you start getting a proper amount of vitamins and minerals, you'll start noticing that you feel much better, even if you're still eating heavier foods. Like I said, the goal is to add more healthy diversity to your diet, not cut out everything fun and tasty. I mean, eating veggies for long enough will make them tasty too, I promise, but that's a topic for another day. If you have any questions about this topic, feel free to leave a comment on this video or come chat with me at my Patreon at patreon.com/trickledowntherapy. Like I've said before, you're going to get access to all the same videos there that you will here, so it's not necessary but appreciated. You can also leave a comment on this video if you think of another topic you'd like me to discuss, but bear in mind that I'll only be covering topics I'm comfortable in my knowledge of. Thanks for watching. I hope it helps.